All right, everyone, this is the hyperbola day 2. We are not going to be centered at 0, 0. So today we're going to have center at HK. Same picture as last note, same setup, just we're not going to be at 0, 0 today. We're going to do a center at HK, so a little horizontal and vertical shifting. So as always, I'm going to go over everything in standard form. So here is your horizontal, here is your vertical. So there's your horizontal, there's your vertical. So your center is going to be HK. So we'll do horizontal first. So there's your H here, there's your K. Remember, the H is with the X, the K is with the Y. Your transverse axis is going to be parallel to the x-axis. So since we have a center not at 0, 0, the transverse axis is not going to be the x-axis like it was last class, but parallel to the x-axis, so still running horizontally. Your vertices are going to be h minus a, comma k, and h plus a, comma k. So it's really just a units away from the center. A units away from the center. The A is with the H again because you're going horizontally, so you have to affect the X coordinate. So for your foci, you have H minus C, K, and H plus C, K. For the asymptotes, we're going to just draw them. We're going to draw through the corners. So you're going to draw through the corners. We're not going to write the equations. We're not going to write the equations for when it's not at 0, 0. Here is your foci equation. That's for your foci, getting your C value. So that is your horizontal. Now for your vertical. Now the big thing that screws everybody up is when it's vertical. Look at your center. Your center is still HK, but the H value is over here with the X. So even though it's not listed first, that's still your H. So that's a big screw up people do, is they make the H here just because it's first. No, the H is with the X. Your transverse axis is going to be parallel to the y-axis, so it's going to be running vertically. Your vertices are H, comma, K minus A, and H, comma, K plus A. So again, your vertices are going to be A units away from the center, but it's affecting the y coordinate because it is vertical. Your foci is H, comma, K minus C, and H, comma, K plus C. Your asymptotes, we're going to draw through the corner. Another little just side note I just want to say that works for both of them. For your horizontal, you're going to be A or C units right or left of center. So basically what that means is whether you're doing the vertices of the foci, you're going right or left of the center. So the big thing you need to know there is you're going right or left. For over here, you're going up or down from the center. Up or down from the center. That's just like your little introduction. All right, first example here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get the center. So we're looking at it. I see my center. There's my H. There's my K. My center is going to be at 2, 3. 2, 3 is my center. My A value, or my A squared, is 16, so my A is 4. My B squared is 9, so my B is 3. Remember, the A is 16 because it's the positive one. So the first thing I'm going to do is plot my center. So I'm going to go over 2, up 3. There's my center. Now, this is a horizontal. This is a horizontal hyperbola. So I know that when I draw my vertices, I'm going to go left or right from the center. So my first vertice is going to be A units away. So 4 units away from the center, left and right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And those are going to be my vertices. So my vertices should be at -2, 3, and then 6, 3. Now I'm going to do my foci real quick. So my foci, I'm going to use that equation c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So c squared equals 16 plus 9. C squared equals 25. C equals 5. So I'm going to do this in orange. Basically, that means from the center, I got to go 5 units left and right. So there's 5. There's 5. So my foci are now at 7, 3 and -3, 3. So now we just got to draw that box. So remember, I used the A and the B to make the box. The B value is 3, so I'm going to put a little dash up 3 and down 3. And now I'm going to use the A and B to make the box. There it is. Now, you don't have to write the asymptote equations. I just want you to draw through the corner. So this would be up 3 over 4. You're just going to draw through the corner. And now you can draw I'll do it in red. Now you can draw your hyperbola nicely bounded by your asymptotes. And that is your first example here. So it says example 4 just because it continues from the last slides, but that is the first one. All right, so the next example that we're doing, we're going to graph the hyperbola. Same thing. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to find the center. Now, a lot of people want to say it's 3, 1, but it is not. It is 1, 3 because the h is over here with the x. So your center is going to be at 1, 3. So I'm going to put that down right now. Go over 1 and go up 3. Now we're going to get the a and the b. So my a squared is 4. My a is 2. My b squared is 1. So my b is also 1. So now when I do the vertices, I will do them in blue. When I do the vertices, I have to go a units away from the center. The key here is that you know it's going to be vertical. You know your transverse axis is going to be parallel to the y-axis, so I have to go 2 units above. So I'm going to go 2 units up and then 2 units below. So that makes my vertices at 1, 5 and 1, 1. Next, we are going to do the foci. So your foci equation, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C squared equals 4 plus 1. C squared equals 5, so C equals √5. So √5 is like 2 point something. So again, you just have to go 2 point something away from the center. So up and down, you're going to go 2, and then just a little bit more, just an estimate. 2, and a little bit more, just an estimate. And when you write your foci, you can say you went over 1 still, and now you went 3 plus √5. And then you went over 1, 3 minus √5. So basically from the center, you went up √5 and down √5. And you can type that in the calculator or leave it like that. I don't really care. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the box using the b value. So b is 1, so we're just going to go out 1, out 1. We're going to make our nice little, oops, I went too far. Make our nice little box here. And then we're going to draw our lines out the corners. And now we can shape our parabola. I will do it in orange. Like that. Like that. Oh, I'm sorry, not a parabola, a hyperbola. Like that and like that. And that's it. That is your example. All right, so the last one we're going to do is putting the hyperbola in standard form. We're not going to graph it just because we just did 2 graphing problems. So all we're going to do is we're going to put in standard form, we're going to complete the square. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to rewrite it all. 4x squared minus 24x minus 25y squared plus 250y. And I'm going to add this 489 to the other side. So that's going to equal 49. Next, we got to pull out a GCF. So we're going to work with the x's first. So if you look at the x terms here where my fingers are, we got a little sideways. You're going to pull out a 4. When you pull out a 4, you're going to have x squared minus 6x. You're going to put plus, and we're just going to leave a little blank. Now we're going to do the y's. We're going to take out a negative 25. So when you do that, you get y squared minus 10y plus, we're going to leave a little blank, equals 489. So again, just to recap, added the 489, took out the GCF of the x's, took out the GCF of the y's. Now we're going to complete the square. Same way we've been doing in all the other examples. To complete the square, we're going to take the middle term, we're going to half it. So half of 6 is 3. We're going to square it, and that's 9. But we're not going to add 9 on the other side. We actually have to add 4 times 9 because you would have to distribute that 4. So you're going to add 36. Over here, half of negative 10 is 5. Squared is 25. So you're going to add a 25. And then over here, you're going to add, you're actually going to subtract 625. Why am I subtracting 625? Because there's a negative 25 out here. Times 25 is negative 625. Now you're going to rewrite it factored. So x squared minus 6x plus 9 factored is x minus 3 squared minus 25, y minus 5 squared equals, you type that in the calculator, you should get negative 100. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to get it equal to 1. So we're going to divide everything by negative 100. And that's going to give me x minus 3 squared over negative 25 plus y minus 5 squared over 4 equals 1. Now there's one thing that we need to fix is that this is the term that's negative. So that means this 4 is the a squared value. So we need to flip it around. Y minus 5 squared over 4 minus x minus 3 squared over 25 equals 1. And that is your final equation in standard form. So again, we complete the square, we divide to make it equal to 1, and then we make sure that our a is first and positive. And those are your notes for hyperbola day 2.